Well, I'm excited,
Get
guys.
ready to join our book club.
Ooh, a year and a half. Yeah, guys. Easter of 2027 is when season 3 is going to end. We forgot how to record.
Are we using this? Are we still keep talking?
Always.
We always use it.
Always. Am I introducing us this season?
Shannon, you always introduce us.
I know, but this is a different season than the last ones. I don't even have anything written out.
No.
Hi,
You
welcome.
just have them.
It's season 3 of the Land Saltico
We're back.
podcast.
We're back.
We're
Happy New Year.
excited.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's January when you're listening to this. So Happy
Yes.
New Year.
It's
October
October 18th
when we're
for us.
recording.
When we're
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Rapture
We're
has not
excited.
happened if you're listening.
Yeah, we're still here.
Well,
the rapture
yeah,
didn't
because the new
happen.
date, there was 3 dates.
Oh,
I thought it
There
was
was
October 6th.
No, the same guy first said September 23rd, 24th, October 6th, 7th, and then it was 16th, 17th.
So the sixth-
Okay.
It's passed
So we
again.
have survived all 3.
I guess that's not a good thing.
No.
I guess, yeah, we've been left behind, guys. Don't listen to us
You
for
shouldn't
Bible
be learning
study.
about the Bible from
No.
us, though. Yeah.
Nope.
Speaking of Bible study,
Yeah.
what's
So-
season 3 about?
Yeah, the first
Could it
season
be
was
the
about...
Bible?
No.
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 We don't talk
Gross.
about that.
Yuck. Yeah. First season we did questions. Second season we did Bible forensics.
Third season?
This season, we're going to get our algorithms a little more back in order when we research.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do what we are calling Bible Book Club.
Bible book club. I'm excited.
I'm
very
super
excited.
excited.
So
Very
maybe we
excited.
should explain what Bible Book Club means.
Yeah, this is going to look a little bit different than our other seasons because those ones had 10 episodes? 12?
13. A baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen, 13 episodes. This one's going to have over 60
Yeah.
episodes and we're going
Yeah.
to go through the whole Bible, right?
So
And
if
why is
anybody
it
was
Bible Book Club?
okay, yeah. So if anybody listened to our first season, remember talking about one of the ways in which we got closer as friends is because we had our own Bible book club for a while there, where there was a group of us studying through the Bible together, and I would teach just like a small overview and some tools to help understand what the book was talking about.
Yeah.
And then we read through the Bible separately, but together throughout a year and a half-ish.
Ish. Yeah.
And we called that Bible Book Club. And so we were like, let's bring it back.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can only grow closer even more, right? And now we just want to bring you all with us.
Yeah.
I
So-
feel like I'm too much in my Awana head because when I said why do we call it Bible Book Club, I was gonna say because the Bible's not a book, it's a library.
It's a club of books.
I teach it every week so that they remember.
Yes.
It's
the
a
Bible
library of
Bible is a
66
library.
In case you didn't know.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you know.
Now you know.
But also, yes, the origin story of Bible Book Club is a good
Yes.
one.
I mean, yeah, I think that's more appropriate, probably. It makes more
You're an
sense.
Awana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does...
But hey, what have we all been up to since we've been gone? Speaking of Awana,
Sorry, we keep
Yeah.
going back.
guess what?
We teach a
We're going to have to
Some of us teach
predict
Awana now.
the next 4 months or 3 months because
Yeah.
this is January. I don't know what we've been doing.
We've had a fantastic Christmas.
Yes, I got everything I wanted.
Yeah, Santa was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it
know,
was
nothing much
last
has
break.
changed.
Last break, one of us got married.
Yeah.
All sorts of things happened.
So it's been a lot more
boring.
boring.
Uneventful.
House renos.
Yeah,
House
we're kind of been done now for the last. Well, I guess
Yeah.
we recorded last in
And
June.
you're still
so
married.
I'm still
So
married.
That's
married.
that's
That's
a
impressive
success.
for house renos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when people hear this, I'll be going to Brazil in like a month. So I'm more looking
Yeah.
forward to the future
Yeah.
rather than like
Yeah.
looking back. But
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be going to Brazil in a month from when they're hearing for
from when
a
they're
month.
hearing this, yeah,
and
a
for
month.
a month.
And
Yes,
this is
which
why we
is-
have to record so early.
Yeah.
Yes, because my husband's from Brazil.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna go visit his family or his parents there, and yeah,
We're just gonna stay
Enjoy.
here and be jealous.
yeah, it's their summer there too. I'm like, we've had such a bad summer here, so I'm looking forward.
in the dead
Yeah.
of winter.
Looking forward to
good.
it. It'll
Yeah.
be fun. Never been to Brazil, so
jealous.
Do
Are you
know
going to
any
learn Portuguese before you go?
Leo has been teaching me a little bit of Portuguese.
Yes.
Nothing that will be helpful.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
More just random words here and there. But I want to try. So the problem was I was learning it on Duolingo. But then when I brought it to him, he's like, that's not how we pronounce any of that. So I'm like,
so
well,
helpful.
that's
That's
not
not
helpful.
helpful,
Yeah,
right?
'cause it's like different, dialects or whatever it is. So, but I realized I should probably still at least learn, and then he can
Attempt.
teach me how to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
But
Because even if you pronounce it wrong, I'm sure they could when somebody's like trying to speak English, we can make it out.
Yeah.
When we're like,
Most of the time.
Yeah. Like you
well,
can
and what I
struggle
find
through it.
it's funny with Portuguese because like it's Latin. So like some of
Right.
the English and
I didn't know that.
yeah, so some of the English, like we have very similar words, but they always add like a cutesy ending to them. So it's
Yeah.
always like enchi, or like they always add like an e or intina. Like it's
Right.
just like, so it's like sometimes it's funny. Like he'll be trying to teach me a word, and like he'll be, oh, guess what that is in Portuguese, and I'll pretty much guess it because I just add this like
the
cute
thing.
little ending to it, and he's like, yeah, pretty much. So I can probably get by on my English and just no, but I should start learning.
Do you like Brazilian food? You have
Oh
to do a
yeah,
month of it.
man! It's
So
like
good.
just
Meat.
barbecue, steak,
Meat
ribs,
on a-
Meat
on
on
a
a
sword.
Yeah. Oh no, it'll
So
be
Do
good.
they
And they
actually do that in Brazil?
oh yeah, and they do all you can eat like pizza restaurants, all you can eat. Yeah, of these steakhouses,
Yeah,
it's
they
like
better.
they're all about the food. So
Yeah.
I'll come back
Brazilian
20 pounds
barbecue.
heavier.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be good.
Fun.
Yeah,
That's the most exciting update I think we have.
it's not
Yeah,
even an update;
yeah.
it's more of a future.
The rest of us are doing nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Awana's special. I'm in my jam. I'm
Yeah.
loving it. I
Yes.
love teaching little
You
people about
dress
the
up.
Bible.
You have like Bible costumes. I'm just like I'm just getting dressed.
She made us shirts.
Yeah,
I made us
That's
matching
good. You're
shirts,
getting dressed.
so-
in. That's a very
I know,
important
it's
step.
the most exciting thing in my
My
life.
clothes on. Yeah.
Not doing it Genesis once.
No.
Yeah. It is really cool to be involved in like the kids' discipleship.
It is really cool. Like just seeing how the kids are soaking things up and like the
Yeah.
answers they're giving and
And to
I'm
be
just,
honest with
so
you, like
surprised by like so many of the kids are giving answers that I'm like, we found that out while we were researching for podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what?
yeah,
How
I
do
know.
you know this at 10? But
And also too, like my old brain doesn't
doesn't memory.
speak, doesn't memory, nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't remember things. So like to see them just like be able to
Yeah,
memorize the
memorize
Bible.
verses.
I'm like that's
and-
so good to have that like
yeah,
ingrained into them.
Ingrained.
yeah,
You know?
indoctrinated.
Yeah, we just like push it in there.
Yeah.
No, but like to like have that foundation at such a young age to be able to recall those verses. So good.
Totally agree.
But if you're old like us and you haven't read the entire Bible before and you want to learn more, then you're in the right place.
This
Now's
is the
your
chance.
Now's
You can
your
do it with
chance.
us because we're gonna
Yes.
do it all together.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people who we've been talking to just saying this is what episode 3 is going to be about. We know so many of you are so excited
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you haven't actually read the whole Bible before or
Yeah,
you haven't done it and been able to understand it. So we're excited to be able to do this with you. And
yeah.
And again, it's
I-
so transformational. Like I know, I was recently asked, like, what was because I traveled quite a bit. They're like, oh, what was your favorite place? And like, I went back to like, it was my Bible school in
Yeah,
Hawaii because like,
yeah.
yes, it was beautiful there, but like,
because it was Hawaii.
it was Hawaii.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, not that we got to enjoy it because
No.
it was so jam packed with the Bible.
Which is not enjoyable at all.
I was
but
not
not
loving it.
15 hours a day for 9 months straight. It was a
Yeah.
little much, but like, no, that was probably like my highlight of
Yeah.
my because
Yeah,
it's just so
that time that was just
transformational.
dedicated to the word.
Yeah.
And like it just sets you up. Like I know people always say it's just like, oh, like why to study Bible? It's like if you're a Christian, you're basing your whole life off of this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like you should know what it says
Yeah.
and like in context and like going through it the way we're gonna be going through it this coming season is learning the historical background and all that makes it come alive and actually make it interesting
yeah.
and not as confusing and it makes you love it and
Yeah.
stick-
Well,
stick
and I
with
mean
it.
the Bible is God revealing himself to us. And if we're sitting here saying to ourselves,
we love him.
I want to spend eternity
Yeah.
with you. Like, how do you know if you
Right.
don't, like, do you even know who he is? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe you
Yeah.
don't like him.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Maybe you're
you
gonna read it.
Read the Bible and be like, I don't like that guy. I'd rather go to
made
hell.
my own God. Yeah. And the thing that I've I think I can speak for the four of us when I say like one of our passions is to help people unlock that for themselves, where they're you don't have to like sit with them in every chapter and be like, this is what this means. This is what, like, to give them the tools to be able to like
the confidence to just like find those things themselves.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And to be,
I
because
totally agree.
that'll set you up for reading it for your life. And like not only consuming Sunday. It's very important. Sunday morning sermons, very important. But you need to feed yourself throughout the week.
And even
and
studying
like
in community.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can only read by yourself.
Don't be isolated in the theology you're coming up with.
Yeah, don't be isolated in reading it, but also don't only save it for other people telling you what it means. Like,
know it for yourself so
Because,
that you can discern, right?
yeah,
like
that's
you
the
never
thing
know what
is
people can teach you, and you need to have the ability to
know
discern
whether
it
it's
for
the
yourself.
theology is like rampant on TikTok and Instagram. I know I sound like a little hypocritical and ironic saying this as we're going to post all this on social media, but there's just so many things on social media where they're like telling you, oh, did you know the Bible says this, or the Bible did this, or and like so many people are going to fall for things like that because they don't know the truth. They've never read the truth for themselves, so they can't spot when a lie comes up to be like that.
because it's close enough
not
to
even
being believable.
Yeah, because that's wasn't it Spurgeon? I think that says like I'm gonna butcher this, but it was something about like Satan doesn't need you to believe. He doesn't try and trick you with lies. He tricks you with almost truths. And so all these things on Instagram. I mean, there's good things on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
it's
social media,
discerning
but
between
there's like
true
like
and
us.
almost
Yeah.
true.
But it's discerning between the truth and almost truth because they do look very similar.
Yeah.
And
again,
trapped.
even knowing where things are like, oh, there's different true views on a thing. Like, where there still is, not that like, again, you might hear different theories of things, but there's still usually certain theories that are acceptable within Christianity and not like these one-off interpretations of a passage. It's like, yes, sometimes we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But there's usually a few, like on certain things, there's a couple that you can kind of go by and decide for yourself.
But even this,
sense.
I mean, yes, you guys are listening to this in January, but for us in October, like you just mentioned at the beginning, we just saw this happen real time when half the world sold all their houses and got rid of their stuff because they were going to get raptured
by one guy's vision
we were
in
like,
South Africa.
Because of one guy in South Africa, and everybody's standing in the forest looking up, being like, "Why didn't I get?"
Oh, and it destroyed lives.
Totally,
and even it can ruin
people
faith.
Actually sold all their
and
stuff,
they've done that multiple
throughout
times.
throughout the decades that has happened.
Yeah, it just recycles itself. It happened in 2012. It happened in 2000. It happened. Yeah. It just
so they listen to somebody saying that versus Jesus's own words that say nobody knows the hour, not even
me,
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's
I
important.
did see somebody, I thought this was kind of funny, where they were like, guys, the Bible says nobody knows the hour. So if you're not ready for the rapture, just say, I know it's happening tomorrow. Because then Jesus is going to be like, oh
no,
you knew? I got to change it again.
I got to remake
Well, I couldn't believe with the date change, they said, oh, well, the reason it's October, not September.
The
He didn't
Julian
realize
calendar.
we were using the Julian calendar.
Because God didn't know that we changed our calendars.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't fall into that. Don't be one of those people. Be one of our Bible nerd crew. That, like can see the truth and spot the lies.
And we'll try and back things up and help you know. Okay, so speaking of backing things up, so we're going to read the Bible chronologically.
Modified.
Heidi, can you please
what does that mean?
Because
what's canonical, what's chronological, and what we're doing?
Okay, canonical order would be the order in which it's laid out in the Bible, which is by genre.
Yeah.
We are not doing that. We are doing chronological-ish. We have our own little shtick.
Have you been able to use that word?
Shannon really loves the word
loves
shtick.
the word shtick, especially if you use it in an actual sentence.
moving on.
Anyways, so ours is chronological, but it's also lumped together. It's chronological in the events and the history of when it happened.
How
but
it unfolded.
We're also doing it in kind of this narrative story format so that it flows. So it's divided into these sections. We have the early foundations, which was, the setting up creation and setting up the nation of Israel and the law and the covenant and everything. We move into the conquest and judges. And then we go from there into the kingdom era, which obviously is like Kings and things like that. We are not going into Chronicles, even though Kings and Chronicles would have been the same events, which I will explain in a second. We are going into the prophetic era with all the prophets, and then ending with the restoration and return of the exiles. So this is the Old Testament way that we are doing this, because Chronicles was written to... Well, all these books, this is the one thing you need to know, is that the Bible was not written to us, it's written for us. It is, in fact, written to real people at a real time in history. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of our things, is we want you to understand who those people were, because the interpretation needs to make sense to them.
It changes what we understand.
Yeah. So if it didn't make sense to them, then it wouldn't be what the actual interpretation is.
Keep that sentence in mind, guys, when we get to Revelation.
Yes, thank you.
If it didn't make sense to them, it's not the microchip that Elon Musk.
Right, because they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have had microchips.
Yeah.
So we're putting Chronicles further down the line, because Chronicles was more written when they were returning. Mm-hmm. Kings was written to the people to show them, like, this is why we're in exile.
It's basically all the evil. It focuses on the evil.
Yeah,
that was going on in Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
So if
kind of like, you deserved exile, and this is why you're here.
So a lot of times chronological plans will still place Kings and Chronicles together, because the events still happened in that chronological order. We are changing it just because of basically the original reader
when they would have
read it. So we want you to get the full picture of the Old Testament, like building, leading to the Messiah, what their mindset would have been, what their struggles were, how desperate they were for a Messiah. So that's why we're going to put Chronicles further on in the end when they're returning back, because Chronicles was more written to highlight like
the good kings,
the hope,
this is what you should. Yeah,
this is where we want to be. This is where we want to be, people.
Yeah.
So that's the Old Testament. The New Testament is going to be basically chronological, but it's going to move into like Jesus's life with the synoptic gospels, so Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Then we're going to go into the early church, so Acts.
So from Luke to Acts.
Yeah, and then we go from Acts to the epistles, and then we're going to go to more historical. So this is more of like a historical writing order. The only thing is that we are going to end with John. And that is just because we did this with Bible Book Club.
Because Heidi likes to.
And I like to. No,
it's a really beautiful ending to wrap everything up with Jesus.
Yeah, because John is different than the other Gospels.
Yeah.
And I mean, he wrote Revelation. Like, it's just like we're ending, we're going to show you don't have to be scared of Revelation. It's something to have like hope and joy and excitement. And then so once you get through at Revelation, to end back with the whole reason why
we even get to have hope.
Yeah. And we're going to end with John.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be Easter 2027
when John releases.
When we release John.
Guys,
around
this is going to be a long season.
We're dedicated now that Shannon gave the date.
So we're going to be doing one per week?
Yes, that's the other thing.
So we're going to be doing one
releasing an episode per week
instead of every couple weeks.
Yeah,
it'll be once a week, a different book.
There are some episodes where we're going to, because back in the original writing, Kings was not divided into first and second. Samuel, Chronicles. So those episodes we will lump together.
Yeah, first and second.
As well as maybe some of the minor prophets.
So if you're following along, you're going to want to read a
book a week.
Yeah. So some weeks that's going to be a lot more reading, but it's still doable. You can read the entire Bible in 72 hours.
Yep.
So it's
you
doable.
can definitely read a book or two.
Yeah, and then some books would that have 3 chapters you can read multiple times in that week if you want to. Yeah.
And I think the other thing just to mention around chronological and how we're modifying a little bit is we are sticking with full books.
Yes.
So like,
good point.
If you've ever purchased a chronological Bible, or if you've ever gone through something like similar to like the Bible recap, you may have noticed that like they'll do the first 11 chapters of Genesis, and then they put in the book of Job, and then they finish Genesis. Or then as they get into more like the kingdom era, they'll start to split up where the Psalms are and kind of plug them into different areas. We won't be doing that. No. We're gonna finish Genesis, and Job will be in its own place. Psalms will be one full book. Proverbs, things like that. So it's slightly modified.
And don't get discouraged as we go. I mean, we're not releasing these episodes live. So if it takes you more than a week, like keep reading Genesis, keep going and just listen to the episodes as it comes up. Like we want this to be something that's easy to do and a sustainable sort of Bible study. That's our heart in it. So
well, and I think too, like quit. At least I know in our Bible schools, like your first time reading through a book, don't stop on everything that hits you, right? Like part of the first step of doing inductive Bible study, let's say, is to just read through it all in one day, just to get the big picture of the book. So if you're trying to read one of these larger books in just 1 week, just read through. If there's things that like stick out to you or you struggle with, like put a note.
Come back to that.
But don't stop. Just keep reading so that you can just get the full picture of the book. And then in our episodes, we're going to be going through the historical context. So then once you know some of that, you can go back and then maybe some of those things will make sense. And we'll cover some of those difficult passages and some of those the main themes of the book, and so we're going to be covering those things. So if you at least have an overview of the book, it'll make sense to listen to our episode a little more. You'll be on the same page.
Yeah, because that like reminds me, like when you first brought us through Bible Book Club, I sort of had. Like that was something I had to remind myself of because I was like, I want to get it all. I want to learn everything all at once. And I just had to keep reminding myself, like, this is not the only time you're going to read the Bible.
Right.
Like you, hopefully, if we've done this successfully and you have fallen in love with God and his word, you're going to get to the end and then you're going to start again.
Right.
And then maybe you'll pick one book where you really dive deep for a couple months or whatever the case may be. But don't feel like, you have to learn everything there is to learn right now, because that's not possible. We won't in this lifetime.
And you're going to get discouraged. You're going to get discouraged and quit.
Exactly.
So, and there's going to, and the fact that the Bible is living means that the next time, like next year, you're going to be in a much different place in your life and you're going to read
get
something
totally different.
I was just going to say one of the benefits that I feel anyways to doing the order that we're doing it in, where it's like as the readers would have been reading it, is it's kind of like we are doing that overview of the story so we can actually, like, we're always going to have our lenses on of our own life, but like we're going to try to we have our biases. We're going to try to do our best to remove as much of our biases as we can and really put ourselves in the mindset of the people who are reading it. And so you can read it like overview and like just read it as it builds on each other, and you're like in this history where you're like moving on from, being slaves, then finally getting your identity back, and then, everything that happens when you don't follow God, and like you're building this story, like it's like this like dramatic thing that you're building, and it's like this plot is thickening, and like so you don't have to get all the little details because you're gonna get
excited to read the Bible now.
You're gonna get the big points of it, and then and I love that. Like I love when people go through that chronologically for the first time to see. And like, as I know, I've talked to people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm finally in the New Testament. And I'm like, imagine what they had that, like
they had hundreds of years
of being like, we need the Messiah.
Silence.
We don't know who he is. We need the Messiah. We need this. And then he comes, you know what I mean? So it's like, you get that anticipation when you're doing it this way. And then all of a sudden
if you sitting there today are thinking, finally, I'm at the part where Jesus comes in, and you've just been doing this for the last couple weeks. Right? They spent 400 years waiting.
So just like, don't worry, like you will have the rest of your life to go and like study deeply, but like let this be a time where you get to see the storyline of the Bible.
Well, and again too, when you know the bigger picture, then like some of those small things, they work themselves out as well. Like if you get caught on certain passages, like as you keep reading, the bigger picture makes those little things make more sense.
You're like, oh wait, I know. Spoiler alert! I know what happens.
And so
and like the New Testament helps with the Old Testament.
Exactly. So so we would just encourage you during this, if you're following along with us, don't get caught up on the little things. Just read through the books.
Keep reading.
Just keep reading. Again, take note of them, but don't let it discourage you or stop you, because that can happen.
And even on the days where you're like, I read and I don't know what I just read, like keep going.
Keep going.
And I mean, the other fun thing this season is we might have a couple little helpful things that we're going to release, right?
True.
Not might.
Do you want to talk about
We
that,
will.
Erin?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So we've created a couple of resources. I have a thing about the word resource.
Nobody else does.
But nobody else does. So it's fine. We're going to, but no, we have
First caring and loving resources.
caring and loving and warm and fuzzy resources. But first, on our website, we're going to have a free download for some bookmarks for Old Testament and New Testament that has the books listed out in the order that we're going to be doing them in, that you can check mark along. Because I don't know about you guys, but I really like a check mark.
I love
a checklist. It makes me feel very accomplished.
Yeah.
So if I can like check things off as I go, I think, oh yeah, it's very motivating to me. So that's free on the website, and you can just print that off. And then for the days that you do want to, like maybe you did read through the whole book and you have time to dive in a little bit deeper on some things, we do have another resource, an inductive Bible study guide, and it just step by step takes you through how to dive deeper into your Bible study accurately.
That's
so that
the
you're
big
not,
thing,
so that you're not, it's called the inductive. And unfortunately, a lot of us do deductive, which means we decide what we want the Bible to say. Like, oh, should I buy the red house or the blue house? Let me flip open my Bible and figure out something that says that. Whereas inductive, it helps you to determine and interpret what the text is actually saying.
What the authors actually
meant. What the authors meant to the original reader and what we're supposed to take from it in our modern day. Because that's still the thing. Like I don't know about anybody else if they got hooked up on this, but the first time I learned about the fact that it's to somebody else, but for me, I almost like got rid of the for me part.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I just got to figure out what it said to them. And then there's going to be parts of the Bible that just don't apply to me anymore. And that's not true. It is, Timothy tells us like it's
all profitable, and
it's all profitable for all people. And so,
and even if it's not like, we don't necessarily follow the law, certain laws anymore, but it's like, what does that show about God's
we understand, and we understand
what does it show
why,
about God's
and
heart? And so then you can understand
Yeah.
God more. And
I was going to say that, like, when we were talking about how if it didn't make sense to the original reader, it's like the interpretation of it has to make sense to the original reader. The application of it will look different for all of us.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like, we want to like bring context and like proper hermeneutics, which is how to study, how to interpret the Bible, so that you can understand what it would have meant to them and what the intended meaning was. And then however God is calling you to apply it in your own life, that changes. Right. And that changes throughout your own life too.
It changes per person and it changes per day.
Right.
And it changes, we've said this before, like the things that we would have applied during that C word that we all lived through in 2020 are
I was like, where are we going with this?
The C word?
the C word. Different C word. We're not all sanctified yet, guys. The application is going to be different, right? So it changes throughout your different seasons in your life, and
that's why it's things like the law can still apply to us, because we're understanding the author's intent and what God's heart is behind it and why they needed to follow it. That still is going to be something where it doesn't change. His heart for instructing people to do something is the same. So. Yeah. So we will have little helps.
So those are going to be on or they should be by now on the website.
Yeah, because we have a website now.
We have a website.
We're so official, guys.
We're
Light and
real
salty
girls now.
Real girls. We're real podcasters now.
So obviously in this chronological, we're going to start with Old Testament, and as we go through, when we probably won't do this every single episode, but when we start a new genre, we'll also give some information about how to read that specific genre, because you're not going to read narrative history the same way you're going to read poetry, the same way you're going to read the prophets, the prophecies,
apocalyptic.
They all are going to be read differently, because if you don't, that's where you start to think there's a rapture coming,
right? And that's also where you get frustrated because you're or like confused and you're like reading poetry, you're like, why are you repeating your, you know what I mean? But it's like when you realize there's
a reason,
there's a method to their madness.
And different genres communicate differently, and so we just have to know that beforehand.
We have to know what we're reading, and how to read it. So
we're also going to be pointing out some main themes to look for. That's the thing. We're going to talk about a few different things, but we're mainly going to be pointing you guys towards like
how to recognize it.
Ask yourself this.
Yeah, we're going to point out
themes.
how everything points to Jesus. In every book, we'll pick out a few things, not everything, because we want you guys also to
find things yourselves. And we're going to, propose some questions that you can be thinking as you're reading. And then each book will have like little different things, like keep this mindset in mind. This is what the original reader would have been thinking, to kind of help you guys as you're reading along, to just have those in the back of your mind.
Yeah. And so based on the information that we'll be going through in each episode, like being the historical context and the mindset of the original readers and the author and all that, we recommend listening to the episode, then reading the book, not the other way around. So don't have read Genesis before coming to the Genesis episode. Listen to the Genesis episode, then go off and read Genesis, because it'll change the way you read it and what you understand from it.
So this is your warning to adjust your schedules now. So next week when Genesis is released, you're ready to start reading.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Well, I'm excited,
Get
guys.
ready to join our book club.
Ooh, a year and a half. Yeah, guys, Easter of 2027 is when season 3 is going to end.
I'm more thinking that we used to release two a month. Like, did we release two?
Sometimes it was 3 months or 3 weeks in between.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks in between each episode. And now we're going to do one.
Oh, and speaking of, I mean, we're not going to like time it and cut it short if the conversation is flowing, but we are going to these aren't going to be like
hour-long episodes.
Yeah, so don't
so that you also have time to read.
Because you need time to read. So don't get freaked out that you're going to have to listen to an episode a week and that it's going to take you longer to listen to us than
to read the book.
To read the book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right.
Yeah,
cool. Well, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.